Scotty Lycett looked good yesterday. Is he just an automatic straight back in?
Yeah, Scott will play. Yeah, he'll definitely come into the side and play his 100th game. It's a great result for Scott and his career thus far.
You've got almost an embarrassment of right at the moment, don't you? With Peter playing so well, are you able to keep both?
Yeah, we're going to play both. We're going to play both our rucks in this game this week, and have a look at that and see. It's a challenge for teams, and we think with Pete and Scott's flexibility to be able to go forward and help us with the tall, we think that's certainly it's something that we have to explore, and we're going to do that tomorrow.
Is that split down the middle? Sort of 50-50 for both of those?
To be fair, Max, it'll be a little bit dependent upon how the game is going, what's happening, and who's doing what in what role. With the opportunity up forward and the opportunity in the ruck, we'll mix and match a fair bit of that, I'd imagine.
I suppose with Pete, you sort of want him around the ball a little bit, don't you, because of the way that he moves?
Yeah, well, they both hunt the ball really well around the contest, and they give us some extra ground level support. And against a side like Richmond, we're going to need a bit of extra help around that ball.
Is Jared Leonard the one? Tommy Jones pretty much said yes. Is Jared Leonard the one that takes the semi-late position?
Yeah, he was unlucky to go out after his last performance, a really strong performance up in at the Gabba. He'll come back into the side for Sam, who is he'll serve his week.
Anything else we should be looking for selection today?
No, there'll be only two changes. Well, I suppose the second part of the change is Westy won't play. We'll play the two rucks. Westy's been filling the backup ruck role as well as forward, so Pete or Scott will fill that role. Yeah, we're picking our best side off for the game that we've got.
You guys not quite up, Kenny?
No, Brad didn't pass his. The challenges with the concussion tests now is you have to pass 5 days before the game. Effectively meant our last game he had to pass the concussion test. He was already out of that game, so he'd be fine without preempting the concussion test today. He would pass the concussion test today, no problems.
Not a big concern.
No.
Scott carrying that knee injury for a while. He spoke on the Tuesday leading into his 100th game, and then I think by the Wednesday, Thursday, he was out with the problem. Was it that week?
Yeah, it was that week. It was quite an unusual one the way it happened. He played the game the week before, had no problems, pulled up sore on the Monday, and we thought it was just, to be honest, not too much. It progressively got a little bit worse through that week, and by the end of the week he wasn't able to get going at the level we want. You investigate and see that he's got a little bit of small damage on his knee, and we looked after it and get it right.
That's not long term.
No, he could have played. He could have, as we said last week, he could have played basically Monday, but we just didn't feel like he'd had enough training, so we took the chance to give him the training for the week.
4 week long celebration for him.
Yeah, it's a big build-up, isn't it? It's been a good bit of time. It's a great result that Scott, being a Magpies boy growing up, gets to play his 100th game at Port Adelaide after having a great time over in the West Coast.
How do you celebrate the milestones? That's 3, 2 pretty large ones as well this weekend.
Yeah, look, Scott's is a good achievement at 100 games, but the two boys who are playing their 150 is outstanding. The way both boys have gone about it. They've got quite different careers, but it's remarkable that together they've reached the 150 milestone in our 150th year. There's something about it, isn't there? There's a little bit of something going on there when you think those two boys together have done a lot of things together, and good on them. They'll play footy together tomorrow in the 150th game, and they'll remember it because they're great mates too. They're not just teammates; they're great mates. Those two fellas.
You mentioned that sort of thing in the pre-game and use it as a builder for the boys?
Oh, you don't really need to be fair. It's Tom Jonas, it's their captain, and it's their vice captain in Ollie, who's been a lot said about Ollie over his journey, and Tom, remarkable career. So one starts as a high draft pick, and one starts as a rookie. They end up at 150th games together. Leaders of our club.
You passed so many big tests this season, but Richmond.
It's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, red hot at the moment.
Yeah, they're the champs. Let's be honest. They're the team everyone's trying to beat. We know nothing short of our absolute best is going to get the job done, and we've got to be right up for this game. And I think we're ready to have a crack at it.
Have you noticed any change in the way Richmond played this year, or are they still doing what they're doing?
To their credit, they've changed personnel, but they haven't changed their game style. They play the way they play and have done for 3 years. And I hear Dimmer talk about it's their system. It's the way they play. You hear their players talk. It's their system. They put a player in, they take a player out. They're a really good team, and they deserve to be called the champs of the comp.
What makes it so hard to crack the way they play?
Oh, there's just a way about what they've got going with their belief, I think, and they believe in it, and they all just come in and play a role. And there's no doubt there's some pretty special players in that team as well already. Albeit they've got some out, they've got some pretty good players in there as well that help.
How much of the focus do you put on stopping them as opposed to maybe them stopping you?
No, we're going to play our game. challenge them with our game as best we possibly can. As I said, we need to find out against the best team in the competition over the last 3 years, and this is a great test.
Has it been easier for you to do that this year as a playing group? Do the players feel like this is a sort of time where your game is one that opposition teams have to deal with you rather than you deal with them?
I think when you, I think that's the challenge of any team, and when you're trying to become a good team, you have to be able to stick to what you do. And as I said, the teams that have been at the top, along with Richmond and West Coast and Geelong, those types of teams, they just play their style, and we're going to try and play our style as much as we can. We're not ignorant to the opposition though. We actually have to understand what they bring. So, but our challenge is to play our game. No, I don't know. I don't know what that's their system. Last week, if you watched them, you expect Grimes to go to Charlie Cameron. It didn't happen. They play their system, and I think that's what they'll do again.
Pretty close as well.
Yeah, he'll play next week, I'd imagine. All things being equal, he's run a lot this week. Just talking to him inside, he's really positive about next week. Doesn't make him a lock, but it makes him pretty close.
Bernard looks like he's moving pretty well from there with the body as well.
That's the challenge with a quad, though, isn't it? You can run and you can look like you're fine. It's the kicking part that's the real challenge, and he hasn't progressed to kicking yet, so he's still got a little bit to go.